Hi, everyone. You know, when you look at the New York skyline, you're not just seeing a bunch of buildings. You're looking at a library of stories. There are these incredible tales of ambition, of unimaginable wealth, and total reinvention just etched into every single skyscraper. So today, we're going to peel back those layers and uncover some of the secrets of this amazing, iconic silhouette. So you gotta ask, how did a city of pretty modest low-rise buildings turn into this towering forest of steel and glass? Well, the answer isn't just about human ambition. It's actually found deep within the earth itself, in the very rock that the city is built on. Okay, let's start with the canvas itself, Manhattan. It's a long, narrow island. From the very beginning, it had nowhere to expand out, so the only direction to go was up. That simple geographical fact forced this really unique and powerful vertical ambition right from the get-go.
And it turns out Manhattan had a secret weapon, a kind of geological superpower. Right under the surface is something called Manhattan schist. It's this incredibly hard, stable bedrock. Basically, it's the perfect natural foundation, allowing builders to anchor these massive towers directly into solid stone. It was the perfect setup for a city to reach for the clouds.
But, before that race to the sky really kicked off, there was a different kind of race, a race to expand outwards. This was the Gilded Age, back in the late 19th century, a time of just explosive economic growth that created these unimaginable personal fortunes. You had titans of industry like the Vanderbilts and the Astors, and they were all competing to build the most over-the-top, extravagant palaces, turning Fifth Avenue into this row of private castles.
To really get a sense of this insane level of wealth, just try to imagine stepping inside one. You'd walk through a doorway that's literally gleaming with gold leaf, into a private conservatory filled with exotic plants, marble floors, and the sound of a trickling fountain.
And get this, in the dining room, you wouldn't just find art hanging on the walls were the art. We're talking about entire Italian paintings that were carefully cut from their frames and then applied seamlessly, just like the world's most expensive wallpaper. Absolutely wild.
So these places weren't just homes. They were basically private museums. Their ballrooms also served as galleries, showing off the most sought-after art collections in the entire city. It was a crystal-clear statement of power, of taste, and of just unbelievable wealth. And then, almost as fast as they went up, they vanished. So why? Well, because the very same economic engine that built them also made them completely obsolete. The value of the land on Fifth Avenue just skyrocketed, making a single-family home, no matter how huge and grand it was, a financial black hole. The land was just worth so much more as a commercial property. And so, in the face of the city's relentless push for progress, they were torn down.
All right, so that brings us to the next chapter. The era of sprawling palaces was over, and Manhattan's ambition had to shift. The solution wasn't to build out anymore, it was to build up. And that ignited this unbelievably fierce competition to conquer the sky.
This whole new era was really fueled by a perfect storm of innovation. Suddenly you had the steel skeleton frame, which gave buildings incredible strength without being bulky. You had Elisha Otis's safety elevator, which finally made tall buildings practical. And then you throw in the booming economy of the Roaring '20s, and it just lit a fire under this city's drive for commercial dominance. And the speed of all this was just staggering. For a few frantic years there, the title of world's tallest building was this constantly changing prize. The competition got so intense that architects would literally hide spires in their designs until the very last minute, just so they could claim the top spot. It was a real war. And the signature style of this whole era? It was Art Deco. And it was way more than just a design choice. It was a whole philosophy. It was a celebration of technology, of progress, and this bold, distinctly American sense of optimism. Just think of those sharp lines, the geometric patterns, forms that basically worship the power of the machine. If you want a perfect example of Art Deco in action, look no further than the Chrysler Building. It doesn't have old-school gargoyles, no. Instead, its eagles were modeled after Chrysler hood ornaments, and other details were shaped like radiator caps. The entire skyscraper became this giant, gleaming advertisement for the modern car. But this obsession with the future, this relentless drive for the newest, biggest, and best, it came at a steep price. Progress, as it turned out, demanded some pretty big sacrifices.
This quote just perfectly captures the feeling of what was lost. The original Pennsylvania station. I mean, it wasn't just a train station, it was a monument. It was inspired by the Grand Roman Baths of Caracalla, and it was designed to make you feel like a god arriving in a great city.
And the contrast between then and now is just stark.
On the left, you've got this incredible gateway designed to inspire total awe. On the right, its replacement, a sports arena, with a new train station shoved into a cramped, low-ceiling basement. A grand arrival had been replaced by just processing people.
The loss of Penn Station was so profound, such a shock to New Yorkers, that it actually sparked a revolution. The public outcry was so huge that it led directly to the creation of the Landmarks Preservation Commission, a powerful new organization dedicated to making sure a tragedy like that would never, ever happen again.
And this new consciousness, this new way of thinking, is what shaped the New York we know today. The city finally stopped just erasing its past and started to embrace it, becoming this city of layers, a complex and fascinating tapestry where the old and the new are all woven together.
Seriously, if you take a walk through Midtown today, it's like a journey through a living museum. You can see a Gilded Age mansion that's now the Cartier store, just a few steps away from the sleek, modern Seagram building. You'll see Grand Central, which was saved by the very laws that Penn Station's destruction inspired. And now you've got this whole new generation of super slender pencil towers, adding another dramatic, futuristic layer to the city's story.
All of this leaves you with a really fascinating question to think about. As the skyline keeps changing and evolving, what are we building right now that will become so beloved, so iconic, that future generations will see it not as an obstacle to progress, but as a treasure worth fighting to protect?